Thank you for tuning in here on this Tuesday night of baseball here at Seymour Smith Park in J.J. Isaacson Field. Today we'll be seeing the Haymakers face off to the Filthballers tonight, and they will start at 4 p.m. For you tonight, I am Jackson Ingvoldstad here associated with Sam Whittaker. Sam, how's the weather looking tonight? Are we going to have some good baseball and showcase for us tonight?
Well, it is really humid outside. We got a lot of cloud cover here in Omaha. It's almost a gloomy day. It did sprinkle a little bit earlier, so players might be a little bit more jammed at the plate today, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do adapt, especially with the pitchers. Compared to Sunday, there's not as much sun.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very cloudy day and a lot of humidity. We're even seeing our camera lenses fog up here. Here are the CBL standings. We've got the Haymakers standing at 10 and 13 with the Filthballers 10, 12, and 1. And we're going to take a quick break here as the national anthem starts, and we will be back shortly. Please stay tuned. Thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. We'll take a quick look at the 2023 Corn Belt League standings. Today's the last day of regular season play, so the playoff spots will be on locks. So far, we've got the Royal Blue Dogs, who've pretty much been staying calm, sitting at the top of the standings pretty much for a majority of the season, if not all of it. And we've got the two teams playing today, Filthballers and Haymakers, sitting at 6 and 7 respectively. So kind of cooling at the bottom of the standings, but all those teams kind of clustered between slots 3 and 7. They're pretty close as in regards to their records.
Absolutely, and I mean the Filthballers are playing two key games today, back to back. First the Haymakers, then taking on I believe it's the Black Sox, or no, it's the Red Raiders, excuse me. And the Bombers are also playing too today out at Iowa Western. We'll get you those scores when we can, but it's going to be really final lock-in spots for the playoffs.
So, yeah, thank you for that. So pitching for the Filthballers today will be Cody Bruss. See him warming up there on the mound. Well, starting for the lineups for the Filthballers, will be Carson Burnett at third base, Peyton Larson in center field, Matthew Rivers at first, Anthony Nino in left field, Cooper McCoy catching behind the plate. We'll have Corey Bantam as the extra hitter, Tristan Brandt in right field, Kai Patterson at second base, Dane Garner, that is the DH for today, and then we have Brennan Hillis at shortstop. And batting first for the Haymakers is Mitchell Clay, as that first pitch is high for a ball.
And Mitchell Clay's got that 121 average as he leads things off today. He's also got those 8 stolen bases.
Another ball there for Clay. Yep, Clay's the left fielder for the Haymakers tonight. The count is now 2-0. Another watch ball for Clay. Hasn't swung at any of them yet, so it's a 3-0 count. Take off an early lead in the count for himself. Pitch is up, and it's down for a strike, so the count is now 3-1.
This is where you might expect Clay to hold up here, see if he can get that fourth ball.
And Clay is certainly going to take a walk there. Didn't swing at any of them, so he'll get a free trip to first base. And now batting for the Haymakers will be Isaac Sherrill, the shortstop, number 3. Clay hoping to show off his speed. Maybe can expect a stolen base here for this at-bat for Sherrill.
Looks for that 9th on the season.
That first pitch is a strike.
And Sherrill got 12 hits on the year. 4 of those are extra bases.
And a pickoff attempt to first. Being cautious of Clay's speed there. Doesn't want to make his 8 stolen bases on the season in a 9. So the count's still 0-1 for Bruss. And that'll be a ball, so the count evens out to 1-1. And that pitch is inside. So it's a ball. The Filthballers on defense here really had a strong start to the season for a good portion. And there's a runner to second base, and Clay will be tagged, trying to get a stolen base, but no shot there. Like I was saying, the Filthballers defense has had a pretty solid season. They haven't had too many high-scoring games on them. They held a spot in the second seed for a good portion of the season, but you know, with all the other close teams, they've kind of dropped back down to the 6th spot there for themselves on the current standings. But that's really all that matters when the playoffs are just around the corner.
Absolutely. It's been the hitting that's been their main weakness there.
That ball is popped up into short right field, and it is hauled in by a second baseman. Kind of trips there, still able to haul it in. Rolls his ankle maybe.
Seems to be okay, though. But as I was saying, the Haymakers really struggled this year, and the reason they're so low is because of that team average. It's in that 209 area. It's the worst in the league. They're second place, though, in stolen bases in the entire league.
So now with 2 outs, the Haymakers are at their 3rd batter here after they had the tagged out on second from Clay and then fly out for Sherrill. This counts 1-1, and that ball is lined out into left field, and he cannot haul it in. He will get a base hit, or it'll be called a base hit, and that'll be a double. And we can expect a meeting with first base coach. That was David Swanson, the center fielder.
Yep, and Swanson, we saw it Sunday, took one out of the park, hit the light pole in left, showed off the power there.
So now with a runner in scoring position, Drew Miller, the third baseman, is hoping to start off this game for the Haymakers. That first pitch is a ball. So there's now 2 outs, 1 man on second, which is David Swanson, and then, of course, Drew Miller batting. There will be a runner to third, and the man behind the plate does not want to risk it throwing to third. He'll let him get that stolen base. So now Miller will sit on third base.
Yeah, that's a good
sorry,
job.
Swanson. Sorry, I apologize. Swanson's on third base.
And that's a good job to hold up right there behind the man at the plate. Didn't think he could get that throw over and didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, behind the plate for the Filthballers is Cooper McCoy. And that will be another ball, so. Another ball to make the count full. So a full count, 2 outs. And that pitch is down low and inside for a walk. So now we'll have runners on the corners as Ben Kirkland will take the batter's box.
Yeah, and this 3, 4, and 5 spot for the Haymakers, the same as it was Sunday, and they're seeing good success here. They're moving a few people up in the order. They want their better hitters to be towards the top, and they're doing so right here. They got good discipline as well.
That first pitch is a strike. Yeah, Haymakers have shown great plate discipline. They've had 2 walks. And that ball is flown into center field. And trying to make the diving catch, is not able to put the squeeze on it. A runner will come home. Runners will shift to the corners, and a run will be brought in for the Haymakers, starting off this game with 1 run in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, and that's great contact there, right? Ben Kirkland, the Midland man, got that 326 average, going to bump it up now. We saw him in the All-Star game back on July 9th. Shows a good reason why he still is an All-Star in this league.
So Hayden Crawford will take the at-bat, and runners will run to second, and another runner will run from third to home. The runner is coming home from third base. Wow, what a series of events for the Haymakers as they are able to bring in 2 runs. So much was happening there, a lot of fumbled balls. I wasn't really sure what was going on here, but the Haymakers are able to haul in 2 more runs to give themselves 3 runs in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, and that last throw, it wasn't even an attempt by McCoy to swing back. He just lazily threw his glove back, and it's cost them 2 runs early on now.
A sloppy play from the Filthballers there is giving in 2 unwanted runs that were definitely preventable there. So Hayden Crawford still in the batter's box. 2 outs, no one on the plates, no one on the bases anymore, and the count is now 1-2 after he swings at that one.
Yeah, Crawford likes to be aggressive at the dish. Only got 3 walks.
And another big swing there, swung at all of them, and that'll wrap up the top of the first inning. Haymakers really giving themselves a strong edge on this game to start off strong. 3 runs in the top of the first inning due to Filthballers' sloppy play. Please stay tuned. This is the Corn Belt League Network. Thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. The Filthballers now are on offense here in the bottom of the first. Pitching for the Haymakers is Jake Swillich. The Haymakers scored 3 runs in the last inning after a series of unfortunate events that were preventable for the Filthballers. Swillich here features in odd sort of submarine type of pitch. It's a very interesting, as you can see, kind of side underhand weird windup. And he's starting off the count 1-1. And that pitch is inside for a ball, so it's now 2-1.
Yeah, it's the very low arm action he's got there.
It's very interesting form. You often see more submarine pitchers in a lot of relief play, but he's starting tonight for the Haymakers. That pitch is very inside. Close hitting the batter, so the count's now 3-1. That ball's fouled just over the fencing and into the bleachers. And batting for the Filthballers is Carson Burnett, the third baseman.
Yeah, Burnett's like that Ohtani type of arch type player. We talk about him a lot. Really good player, makes good contact.
He checks his swing there, and he's down for a walk. So we'll take a trip to first base road, and now batting for the Filthballers will be the center fielder Peyton Larson. At the Filthballers helper there, taking out Burnett's bat.
Would watch for Burnett to steal. Got 7 on the year. Looks for 8.
That pitch is very inside. Solich has featured a lot of inside balls here tonight. We've got a runner from first to second. That ball that is struck is called foul.
Yeah, you can see right there, Burnett wanted that stolen base, couldn't do so. He knows Richie can pick him up there in the batter's box.
So the count is now 1-1 for Peyton Larson, who waggles the bat and watches that ball go by for a strike. It's now a 1-2 count with 0 outs for the Filthballers here. Swellich pitches, and there's a runner. The runner goes to second, and it is fumbled at second base. He'll take third, too, as the Haymakers are not able to tag out Burnett, adding to his stolen base count for the season.
Yeah, and that cost the Haymakers there. They got a runner in scoring now. Wanted that stolen base earlier in the count, couldn't do so. Now all Larson needs to do is just get something deep enough into the outfield.
Swellich pitches that one high and out, and Burnett will run home and bring in a run for the Filthballers. Swellich has yet to gather himself. He's not seeming very composed. He's not very in control of his pitches right now. A lot of balls right now and a lot of pitches getting out of control that are leading to unnecessary runs, and there will be a meeting of the minds here on the mound.
Yeah, Swellich, he hits around the same for strikes and walks. I mean, he's got 15 Ks on the year, 11 walks coming into the game, but that ERA is higher than he would like, and it's not going to help right there with that first run.
The Iowa Western Reaver is not seeming like himself right now. You know, he's still trying to find his groove. You know, no adjustments will be made on the mound. Just give him some assurance. You know, let him know everything's all right or what to change up. And they do have a player warming up in the bullpen for the Haymakers. And that ball is hit up into right field for another base hit. So Peyton Larson will bring in the base hit single, and he'll reside at first base. So now batting from DMAC is the first baseman, Matt Rivers, number 48.
Seen Rivers show good power the other day.
Takes a big hack at that one, but no contact, so that'll be a strike.
That's what Rivers wants right here. He wants that hard hit ball, something he can pull into left.
So a pickoff attempt to first over there on Larson. Still no outs for the Haymakers here. And the runner goes from first to second. And he's called safe on second. Haymakers disagree there. Larson is called safe on a successful steal attempt there.
Yeah, and that's a tough call. I thought he was out even, but don't have the best viewpoint up here.
Still batting is Rivers. With his royal blue bat. He'll watch that pitch go by. It's a little high.
Yeah, Rivers the DMAC man, Des Moines Area Community College. He's got that .320 average. Got a healthy amount of 5 extra base hits on the year. Just shows off that he does have that power.
So on a 2-1 count, Swellich pitches low and out for another ball, so the count's now 3-1. With no outs on the inning, the Filthballers are in a little bit of trouble here, already giving off a run with another runner in scoring position here if they want to hold off the lead that they worked for in the first inning. That pitch is fouled back behind Rivers. So it'll now be a full count. Swellich hoping to get his first strikeout of the inning, of the day. So he'll throw it to second, and he'll miss the throw. Larson will go to third. Once again, Swelch is not able, I'm not sure if that was out of the second baseman's reach there, if that was just a miss squeeze, but the Haymakers are not getting it under control right now.
Yeah, and you can see Swelch was beside himself. He didn't like that.
And that pitch is very inside for another walk, so the Filthballers will have runners on the corners.
Yeah, and this is dangerous water now. Just like the Haymakers, the last inning got runners on the corners now and a chance to cash in.
Anthony Nino takes the at-bat for the Filthballers. Pitches up, and that'll be a strike, first pitch for Swellich.
And that's what Swellich needs. Just needs to get pitches in the zone, get something on the ground that his defense can handle.
It's now a 0-1 count. Still no outs in the bottom of the first here. That'll be a high ball, so it'll be a 1-1 count now for Swellich. There'll be another ball there, so the count's now 2-1.
Like the patience the Filthballers are showing today.
So another high and inside ball. Lots of inside balls for Swelch right now. You know, that wild pitch was outside, but I feel like that's really where he's lacking control right now, is he can't really get a grip on the ball, and they're landing inside more than he definitely would like to right now. So that ball struck well in the left field, but it'll be foul. Really good contact on that one there.
Yeah, hey, the Filthballers have the 4th best average coming into today's game. They aren't the best on the base pass. They're second to last in stolen bases by 1. But still, they find a way to make up for it.
So with a full count, the runner goes from first to second, but that ball's foul. So everyone will reset here. Anthony Nino keeping the count alive here. Still a full count with no outs. If he can walk here, the bases will be fully loaded for the catcher, Cooper McCoy. And the runner goes again, but it won't matter because he will walk to first base. So the bases are now fully loaded for the Filthballers. Swellich still unable to get his pitches under control today.
Yeah, and there's still no one away. This is the nightmare scenario. They still have the lead, but the question is, how much longer will they have the lead?
It's not looking too good for them since they still have no outs on the first inning, and they've got 3 men on base, already a run secured. The Filthballers do. So Cooper McCoy now takes the at-bat. He'll watch that pitch go outside of his strike zone for a ball.
Yeah, and the Filthballers getting into the middle area of that order. They're getting into the late middle part. This is really where Swellich didn't want to be.
That pitch will be called a strike. This count evens out to 1-1 now. Base is still fully loaded with no outs in the bottom of the first here. Swelch pitches and no swing for Cooper McCoy. Not a lot of swing attempts on Swelch today, as his pitches are not getting that close to the strike zone, to be honest. Is still not able to get control of his pitching here. And that pitch is swung at and fouled backwards. This count evens out to 2-2 now.
Yeah, and the not swinging part of it, that's going to spread quickly like wildfire through the lineup. They're all going to just be more patient. They know Swellich isn't hitting his spots right now.
And with a run and bases fully loaded, the Filthballers do only have one base hit. So three of those 4 runners that have been in this inning so far have been walks. And that pitch is fouled once again back out of the fencing. So we'll do it again. We'll have another 2-2 count here.
And I do want to jump in that the arm from the Haymakers bullpen is off and it in the dugout now. So we might see a change coming up.
Wouldn't be surprised as Swelch hasn't had a great first inning so far. That ball's fouled up towards the Haymakers dugout near our first baseman, cameraman, Colton Alder.
Watch out, Colton.
He's okay. As are all Corn Belt League Network crew members. You always got to have an eye out when you're doing camera work. Here, our lovely crew. So, good work keeping an eye out, Colton. And that pitch is another ball, so the count's full once more.
Yeah, Swellich, that one was a bit closer to the zone, but it's really just not a ton of swings from this Filthballers lineup. Really good discipline, and they know Swellich can't find it right now.
The pitch is up and inside, and that'll be another walk, and that'll bring in another run for the Filthballers. So runners will move down the line, and we will likely see, we will see a pitching change here for the Haymakers. Coach comes out to the mound, and there will be a mound visit. That'll likely be the day for Swellich here. They'll meet with him. That's his second meeting. And, he will go back to the dugout. We will return shortly here at the Corn Belt League Network. Don't go anywhere. thank you for tuning back in here. Here is the suspected pitching change here for the Haymakers. Taking Swelch's spot is Easton Barnes, hoping to get the Haymakers out of this fully loaded bases dilemma here with no outs in the inning. First pitch for Barnes is a ball.
Bring you down the stat line for Barnes. 4 1/3 innings pitched coming into today. That ERA at a 10.24, not what he wants. 3 strikeouts and 8 walks on the year.
Big swing taken from Corey Bantam, the extra hitter there.
Does have that whip though, 2.93.
So with a 1-1 count and no outs in the first inning, with fully loaded bases, Barnes throws another strike there. So it's a 1-2 count now. You know, Swelch being taken out there wasn't much of a surprise. Clearly frustrated by his performance, but you know, when you have such a wild kind of underhand submarine pitch there, it's kind of hard to have such good control there as Barnes strikes out Bantam there.
Yeah, 4th strikeout of the year for Barnes. That's what you want coming out of the pen.
So
now batting the right fielder from Southeast Community College, number 7, Tristan Brandt.
Tristan Brandt now takes the right batter's box. Southpaw with the mighty flow coming out of the helmet. He's got a really nice head of hair there, clearly.
The Concordia man got a 243 average. Got 7 RBIs, a chance for a ton here if he can.
The pitch is up and it's grounded to the pitcher. It'll bring in a run, and it will be a base hit with no outs coming out of that one. You know, there's such a short little ground ball there. You would have thought something would have come out of that, but nope, he brings in a runner, and bases are fully loaded once again with no outs there.
Yeah, and I think what Barnes was trying to do there, he was trying to get it over to Miller at third, but Miller was already converging to the mound thinking he was going to get the play on that ball. It brings in a run to tie us at 3.
So with the base hit single RBI there, Brandt just adds to his season total there. So Patterson, second baseman, will now take the batter's box there. He's got the Christmas fit going on right now with the red helmet, green jersey, and white pants. Swung at that one, it's fouled behind him.
Yep, Cy Patterson, also a DMAC member.
And we'll see a pinch runner coming for Brandt there.
It's Jacob Martin.
So Filthballers hope he can give them the wheels they can to maximize as many runs as they can get. The pitch is down for a ball, so the count evens out to 2-2.
Yeah, this has been a very slow inning for the Haymakers. Filthballers got their runs pretty quickly, but the Haymakers are just dragging along, trying to get this through.
Apologize, the count is 1-2, but with that ball, it's now 2-2. Base is still fully loaded for the Haymakers with only 1 out, so they got 2 to give in this 2-2 count. Pitch is up, and it'll be another ball, so the count is now full.
And I want to bring you an update from our other games going on. At Iowa Western, Black Sox currently leading the Bombers in the top of the second, 5-1.
That ball is hit hard into center right field. It is hauled in for a fly out. It's thrown back home, but a runner will still be brought in.
Yeah, offline throw there out in center. Just couldn't get it where he wanted, and it's going to score the go-ahead run now for the Filthballers, and we're only in the first.
So the Filthballers now take a lead in this never-ending first inning. A 4-3 lead now on the Haymakers, who were so electric in the first, but they've seemed to have lost their momentum now as they've not been able to handle the Filthballers' heat. So runners now on first and second for Easton Barnes, still pitching. I've seen a lot in this first inning already. You know, it's tough when people say baseball doesn't have a lot of action. I mean, we've had a pitching change, 7 runs for both teams here. It's been a pretty electric first inning here of baseball tonight. So that pitch is a ball.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of patience for the Filthballers. That's what's gotten them back into this game.
Count is 2-0 with 2 outs. That ball's fouled high and out of the fencing. Shows the Haymakers bullpen. The Haymakers only need 1 more out to end this nightmarish inning after have given up 4 runs.
And they're hoping they can only end it down 1.
The pitch is up and it's swung on. No contact, so the count is now 2-2, evened out.
And that's what you expect to see from Dane Gardner with that 242 average coming into today. Those 8 hits, all very good contact. Been electric recently at the plate.
So the pitch is up and it's down low for a ball, so the count is now full. A strike will end the inning. A ball will bring us back to fully loaded bases for the Filthballers, something we have seen a lot of already in this game of only 1 inning of play. So runners go respectively, and he will walk for another walk from the Haymakers. So the bases will now be fully loaded once more.
From Iowa Central Community College, number 2, Brendan Hillis.
So the shortstop, Brendan Hillis, will now take the batter's box, and that will be the bottom of the lineup for the Filthballers. So in the first inning, they've already gone through all of their batters so far. Swing is checked, but still a strike. This counts 0-1.
Yeah, Hillis got 5 RBIs on the season, a chance for a healthy amount more here. He's got a 243 average.
Checks his swing again, and that time it's a ball, so the count evens out to 1-1. He holds off his strike, wishes he took a hack at that one. So it was right down the middle, so it'll be a 1-2 count with 2 outs in the bottom of the first here for the Filthballers. Barnes pitches up, and it's high. So the count evens out to 2-2 here. Base is still fully loaded with 2 outs. Hills takes a swings at that, and that will fly into right field, and it'll be hauled in, and that will end the inning for the Haymakers at last. They do face the consequences of 4 runs, and they lose their 3-run lead that they had in the top of the 3rd. Please don't go anywhere in this action-packed game of baseball that we have on tonight. This is the Corn Belt League Network. thank you for tuning back into the Corn Belt League Network here. We're the start of the second inning, and that first pitch is flown deep into left field. And he is not able to haul that one in as it hits the fence. That'll be a base hit double on the first pitch of the top of the second inning here for the Haymakers after just giving up 4 runs in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, huge swing right there by Dane Small. Absolutely crushed that one to left. Almost left the yard. Just got over the head, though.
Yeah, with the fencing in the way, I couldn't really tell if that ball went over the fencing or not. It was good, close chance for a home run here, which we don't see too often here at the Corn Belt League, just because it's a wooden bat league, which I will much rather enjoy hearing the crack of a wooden bat than the doink of a metal one, personally.
Absolutely.
Your attention, please. Now playing third base, number 34, Anthony Nino.
And we got to talk about the dimensions here at J.J. Isaacson. The fence all the way dead center 410. That's 2 feet deeper than Charles Schwab.
And that ball is grounded to the mound. And Bruce brings it in, but not until it's already a base hit single for the Haymakers there. So runners will be on the corners now after those first 2 quick at-bats. As the Haymakers look to retaliate against the 4-run inning that the Filthballers just showed off.
Yeah, a good chance for Schmeckpepper right here to move his man over. You got Small on third.
Schmeckpepper has to have the best name in the Corn Belt League. Me and Ethan McCormick talked about this on a previous broadcast for the Haymakers, but Braden Schmeckpepper has to take the cake for best name in all of the Corn Belt League. And that pitch is picked off, and he'll be stuck in a pickle there, but a runner will come home, and he'll be called safe for another run. So the game's now tied between the Haymakers and the Filthballers. A lot going on there. A pickle between first and second, but a runner from third is able to score off that one.
Well, and it was a smart move to throw home, but I'm not so sure about that call at home. That was very close.
I was very surprised by that one there, but Dane Small is able to bring that one in, the DH. The wheels from third to home.
We have a correction. It was a dropped ball.
So Schmeckpepper still at bat, a 1-1 count here. That ball struck, gapped in between third and shortstop. And he will try to run to second, but with Goulden trying to take a lead on him at third, he kind of gets Bruce all flabbergasted, and he doesn't throw a ball to get him stuck in a pickle. So now runners will be on second and third for the Haymakers. Don't really know what's going on here.
What in the world? Okay, so Bruce didn't want the man to come home, but he still didn't throw to second. I think there would have been a chance to get them both if he had left from third. That was an easy throw to second, but
yeah, a lot of questionable actions and choices are making this first 1.5 innings of baseball hard to call. We've got a lot of uncanny pickles, can't tell if the ball's going over, drop balls. We've got a lot of action going on here so far at J.J. Isaacson in this first inning and a half of baseball, and that ball will be a strike.
I mean, we've seen how many pickoff attempts turn into runners getting caught in between bases.
Mm-hmm. So this high-scoring game already is tied up 4 apiece between the Filthballers and the Haymakers. And that ball is lost behind the plate, and that'll bring in another run for the Haymakers. Don't know what's going on here. So many wild pitches and questionable decisions are bringing in unnecessary runs for both teams here.
I mean, bring on the madness, but what is happening? We're only into the top of the second inning, and we've already got a combined 9 runs.
Cooper McCoy isn't able to haul that one. That one struck well into center field, and the squeeze is put on that, but the man on third will run home. and bring in another run for the Haymakers. So the Haymakers already have scoring 3 runs in the top of the second inning here after scoring 3 in the first. So they now take a 6-4 lead to the Filthballers here.
And I think that's the first, if not it's the second, but the first legit scoring chance that we've seen. The rest of them have been errors.
Some wacky baseball on display today. That pitch is down and low for a ball. So now 1 out in the inning for the Filthballers here. That ball's grounded foul first, so he will retreat back to the batter's box on a 1-2 count. So batting here for the Haymakers is Mitchell Clay, the left fielder, and his count is now 2-2. Checks his swing there. So that'll be another ball. So the count's now full, 3-2, with 1 out. Pitches up, and it's struck to third, staying inside the foul lines. He makes it to first, and that pitch goes over the first baseman's head. Clay will run to second, and he'll take third, too. A throw hits Clay in the calf there as he's running to third. And that'll be a base hit triple for Clay with an error on the extra runs. Base hit single, and an error adding 2 more base runs there for Clay. That ball's fouled up past the press box. Some sloppy baseballs caused the high scoring for both teams here. 6-4, still 6-4 lead for the Haymakers. That pitch is swung on for a strike. You know, with how this game's been going, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more high scoring from the Filthballers. And that'll be a strikeout for Isaac Sherrill.
Yeah, good gas right there by Bruce. Really pounded the zone there. Now just needs something, strikeout or a ground ball, something he can get and get that third out.
And that ball's struck, and it'll be foul. So now batting is David Swanson. Who had a double earlier today. That ball struck into right field over the first baseman's head. That'll bring in another run for the Haymakers, and Swanson will reside on first base.
Well, Swanson's 2 for 2 now. That one over the head of Rivers. That's a really tough play to make, so can't fault him on not getting to that one.
So with a 7-4 lead, the Haymakers take command once again. And another pickoff attempt to first base. It's able to be hauled in for no error that leads to extra runs.
As we had a step off there, that's why nothing moved in the count.
That pitch is wild once more, and Swanson will shift from first to second, take another base there. Why don't you?
Yeah, he got that healthy lead as he was rounded second. Thought about it. No throw from McCoy, no threat to throw either.
And that pitch is down low for a ball, so the count is 2-0 for Drew Miller. Down low pitch once more, so the count is now 3-0. Drew Miller takes a healthy lead on this count. Filthballers defense has not been on its A game so far, and that'll be another walk for the Filthballers. So the Haymakers now have a runner on first and second. It's been a rather unfortunate inning here, and we will see a meeting on the mound here for the Filthballers, giving up 4 runs in the top of the second inning here. We'll see the minds meet here, and we will return shortly here in the top of the second inning here for the Corn Belt League Network. Please stay tuned. And we are back after that quick little break there, meeting on the minds for the Filthballers. Bruce will stay on the mound here, and with runners on first and second, he'll throw a pickoff attempt to second.
I'm almost shocked there. We didn't see something that fell out of the glove. Hopefully we're starting to see a little bit more cleanliness in the field.
And Ben Kirkland strikes that one into left center field, where it's hauled in the center fielder there, and that'll end the once more catastrophic inning for the Filthballers, giving up 4 runs, and they now lose their 4-3 lead to a 7-4 deficit. So the Haymakers now take the lead, and we'll return shortly to see if the Filthballers can retaliate here at the Corn Belt League Network. And we will return here to the Corn Belt League Network. Thank you for tuning back in here. It is now the bottom of the second inning. The Filthballers hope to retaliate to the 4-run inning that they just gave up to the Haymakers here, who now have a 7-4 lead.
Yeah, I'd be shocked to see if we don't see multiple runs in this inning as well. I mean, we're on pace for at least 10 runs per team.
That ball struck well deep into right field. An acrobatic dive is attempted, is not able to haul it in, but it is called foul.
Yeah, good effort over there on right, but not to be.
So Carson Burnett will return to the batter's box.
This guy's a very dangerous hitter.
Took a walk in the first inning. So we saw all 10 of the Filthballers batters take the batter's box in the first inning. So the count's now 2-1. He'll watch that ball go by him, so it's now 3-1. Easton Barnes is who's pitching for the Haymakers after he was put in for the submarine pitcher Swillich. And that ball struck to the shortstop. Swings it to first. And he's not able to haul it in. And that will be another unneeded stolen base for the Filthballers there.
I don't think there's been a single inning where we haven't seen a throwing error over to first or anywhere on the field. This is very sloppy baseball.
Yes. A routine play has led to what would have been possibly an out, if not a base hit single, but it ends up in a runner in scoring position on second. Very unfortunate for the Haymakers, who just came off of a great offensive inning. So it's now Peyton Larson, who also walked. And that pitch is a strike. So the count's now 0-2. And that ball's hit to third base. Swings it to first, and he is able to grab that one for an out. Burnett from second will move to third and will now be in better scoring position. But it's good to see the first baseman actually being able to squeeze that one like he was unable to on the more routine play earlier.
Yeah, I mean, teams are just going to need outs as quick as they can get them because it's just going to start falling apart like a soggy wrap. It's just going to all start falling out.
Like a double wrapped Chipotle burrito that's got too much meat and cheese in there. You're not able to wrap it all together. You're going to have to start eating it with a fork. And that ball struck into left field for a base hit. That'll bring in another run for the Filthballers. And that'll be a base hit double. It's Matthew Rivers, the first baseman, who's able to get that great double there. Great contact is made there.
Yeah, that's a great job right there. I believe that's his 9th extra base hit of the season right there. He gets another double to add to his total, so that's 5 doubles now for him on the year.
So Anthony Nino is now the batter for the Filthballers with a runner in scoring position on second. And that ball flies into right field. It is dropped foul. Another mistake. I mean, it was called up here in the press box just by how this game has been going. I mean, that is a routine play that you have so much time to think about sitting under that ball, and it's not able to be hauled in for an out.
I don't have words anymore. This has gotten out of hand for both teams.
Oh, boy. So it's now a 7-5 lead for the Haymakers. 12 runs in our first 2 non-full innings of baseball here tonight at J.J. Isaacson. So it's now a 1-1 count on 1 out. And I cannot believe you have to think that every single player on the field right now is just in their heads because there's just so many routine plays. I mean, that just with how this game has been going, we got Mike Knockenhauer Jr. on tech who called that drop there. So that ball flies into center field. He puts the squeeze on it, and the runner from second will go to third. And he is safe on third.
That wasn't even a dropped ball that time. That just shows off the wheels for Matthew Rivers. I mean, this guy is a do-it-all. He has that increased power stroke right there. We saw it in his last at-bat, but he's also got the wheels.
So Cooper McCoy, the man behind the plate, will now take the at-bat for the Filthballers. With all the players on both teams in their heads right now, including Easton Barnes, you have to hope that both teams will start to clean it up here, because if not, it could be a very, very, very long game for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's both sides are pressing themselves even more, which doesn't help.
That ball is struck to third base. It'll be thrown to first, and it'll be caught for a routine ground out, something we haven't seen much of today. So that will only bring in 1 run for the Filthballers. They narrow the lead that the Haymakers have from 7-4 to 7-5. We will take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, and please stay tuned to the Corn Belt League Network. And thank you for tuning back into the Corn Belt League Network here in our high-scoring, error-fulfilled game. It is a 7-5 lead that the Haymakers have over the Filthballers here at the top of the third. A lot of runs, Sam, in our 2 runs of baseball.
Yeah, this is this is not a baseball game. They may be playing baseball, but the score is not baseball.
It's been pretty sloppy. And that first pitch for Bruce is a ball. It's been pretty sloppy baseball we've been shown tonight so far. And, yep, hopefully both teams can start to clean it up a little. I mean, every play, it's routine plays for both teams that are just, you know, routine, what should be ground outs, but they're turning into infield triples that are just, it's not what we like to see, if that's all I can say. It's one of those games where you don't really understand it until you've watched it. And that'll be a walk for Hayden Crawford, the right fielder of the Haymakers.
Now batting, the designated hitter from the University of Sioux Falls, number 2, Dane Small.
So Dane Small, the DH, who had a double earlier, now takes the batter's box. That first pitch is a strike. Every batter for either team has faced off the pitcher one way or another for both teams, and that pitch gets out of control for McCoy, and that'll be a stolen base for Hayden Crawford. He'll shift to second there.
I don't think there's been a single inning, and I'm assuming I'm correct on this, but there's at least been a ball in and out of the glove at first base or just passed by the catcher.
Yeah, ball's blooped to the second baseman there for a easy fly out for the Filthballers.
Well, flyouts seem to be the only outs we can really get today. I mean, the outfielders have been on the point. Infielders not so much, but good grab right there.
So that first pitch is a strike for the man behind the plate, Ryan Goulden, for the Haymakers. And that ball is struck foul just left of the third base. So it's now an early 0-2 count.
Just want to mention the fact I still can't believe there's only one error for both sides in this game. Seems like there's been way more.
I feel like the downfall's really been these wild pitches for both teams that have just added to 1 or 2 runs, you know, one at a time in either the first or second inning for both teams. Because those have really added up to the 5-7 score, 7-5 score that we're seeing right now. And that ball's hit high and foul, and it is caught by the first baseman there for the Haymakers. Sorry, for the Filthballers. There'll be a fly out there. So now with 2 outs on the inning, on pace to have the quickest inning of baseball we've seen today so far, hopefully, knock on wood. But Brennan Schmeckpepper now takes the batter's box for the Haymakers. The man with the amazing name.
I think this game has been just as amazing as his last name.
Yeah, it definitely has been. We've had 12 runs, and that goes just over the mound to second base, and he's not able to squeeze it. The shortstop has to haul it in, and that'll be another run for the Haymakers. Hayden Crawford's able to come home, and Schmeckpepper places himself on first. That ball just went right under his glove there.
Well, and the 2-point conversion is good now for the Haymakers.
Wow, a 8-5 score now early in the top of the third inning now. An unlikely baseball score in 3 innings. Like Sam said, it's like a football game, The Haymakers have a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, while the Filthballers have a safety and a field goal here. So the count is now 0-1 with 2 outs. And that pitch is a ball, evens out to 1-1 now.
I mean, if you're trying to get people out, just get flyouts, I guess. We haven't seen errors on that yet.
That ball swung over to first, trying to tag up Schmeckpepper. No success. Yeah, we haven't seen too many routine ground outs that have been successful tonight so far. So yeah, definitely strikeouts which have been low, and that ball struck into right field, and it is hauled in for another fly out for the Filthballers. That is definitely the quickest inning we have seen so far, quickest half inning of baseball we've seen so far. The Haymakers bring in 1 more run to increase their lead to 8-5 against the Filthballers. Please stay tuned to see if the Filthballers can retaliate here on the Corn Belt League Network. thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. Now batting for the Filthballers is number 14. Sorry. I believe 15. Sorry about that. Is Corey Bantam, the extra hitter. He fouls that first pitch.
And we do have action in the bullpen, believe it or not. Jeff Miller in the pen for the Filthballers.
And that ball swung on, so the count is now 0-2. So, yep, Corey Bantam, the extra hitter, who's facing off Easton Barnes, who was put in the first inning of baseball after Swelich's poor performance. But, you know, there hasn't really been any good performance so far from any pitcher since we've been having a surplus of runs in this 8-5 high-scoring game in the third inning.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, there's only been a select group of players that have been on it today, and that's the outfielders. I mean, we've seen like maybe one dropped catch, and that was like a diving grab, but that's nothing.
Yeah, we've seen success in the batter's box for both teams. Clearly, it's 8-5, but as far as the infield and pitching and behind the plate, it hasn't been too great for either team here. Lots of wild pitches, lots of errors, lots of walked batters that has led to this high-scoring bonanza. And that ball flies straight up to the mound, and he hauls it in. Haymakers are very thankful to have had that one.
See, Bantam wasn't happy with that. Slammed his bat as he was heading to first.
Now batting, the left fielder from Western Technical College.
Easton
number
Barnes
16,
is putting the
Jacob
squeeze on
Martin.
that one to start off a out early in the bottom of this third inning. That pitch is inside for a ball, so the count's 1-0. Batting now for the Filthballers is number 16, Jacob Martin.
I believe he's coming into pinch hit. And Martin is coming in with a 103 average on the year, mainly known for being lethal on the base paths.
So he's now playing
Correction, yeah, he's playing
Left
left
field.
field.
Tristan Brandt was in his position in the batting lineup earlier. We saw him get taken out. He did roll his ankle, I recall, and we have a flying bat to the Filthballers dugout. I thought his bat might have broke there, you know, being a wooden bat league, but no, it just flies all the way over to the dugout there. Put some chalk on it. Hopefully it won't slip out this time. Counts 2-2. Filthballers dugout laughing that one off.
I think we've seen that. That's almost just about everything on the checklist for what we've seen in this game.
I think we just need a ball stuck in the fencing here, and that'll seal the deal. Or maybe a dog, perchance. We haven't seen any of those tonight so far. It's not the nicest weather day to bring out your dog. It's still pretty cloudy, pretty humid, so your canine friend could be pretty thirsty. Late call there. Strikes out Martin as he walks back to the dugout.
Now batting, the second baseman from the.
And I mean, I think the weather is playing a huge role in today's game. I mean, like we said, started out with very humid temperatures, and we have some less cloud cover as it comes in, but been heavy all day.
Cy Patterson's now batting for the Filthballers. He fouls that one, and it is hauled in for an out. And that will be a scoreless inning of baseball there for the Filthballers there, the first of the game so far. So the Haymakers hold on to their 8-5 lead, and we will take a quick break. Don't go anywhere here at the Corn Belt League Network. and thank you for tuning back into the Corn Belt League Network. We have a pitching change for the Filthballers here. Jeff Miller is now pitching instead of Cody Bruce, who was not pitching too great as he has given up 8 runs to the Haymakers. Miller's a new pitcher for the Corn Belt League, so we do not have any stats to present you.
Yeah,
but his first pitch is a strike.
First appearance of the year for him.
That ball's cracked into center right field, where it is hauled in quickly by number 17 Peyton Larson, who's in center field. We have seen some changes defensively here for the Filthballers after Tristan Brandt had an unfortunate injury out in right field. So it'll now be Martin in left field, Carson Burnett in right field, and then we will have Anthony Nino at third base. That ball is fouled out of the fencing. So it'll be a 0-1 count with 1 out on the top of the 4th here. Haymakers have scored on every single inning so far. 3 in the first, 4 runs in the second, and then 1 in the 3rd inning. And the Filthballers had 2 until the last inning. They had scored 4 in the first and then 1 in the second. But the Haymakers were able to hold them off in the bottom of the 3rd. So that ball swung on and fouled up and over. And batting for the Haymakers right now is the shortstop, Isaac Sherrill. That ball's grounded to the pitcher, swings it to first, and he will get him out for a routine ground out there. Something we haven't seen too much of so far today.
There's already 2 away. It's a bit of a shock now. Is this when both teams start to go quiet?
Perhaps we've seen some slow baseball, but some high-scoring baseball today so far. So all things must pass.
Starting to pick up a little bit more pace here with all the extra runs and errors.
That ball is down low for a ball. This count is now 1-1. That ball is struck well into right field, lined out. He will reside at first as Carson Burnett is able to swing that to second fairly quickly. Definitely wanted to go to the second base there, but was held to a stop there in his tracks.
Yeah, and that's a smart decision by Swanson. Didn't want to risk it. Knew Burnett had that arm, and now he's got Drew Miller, who we all know is very capable of hitting it far.
That's why he's on cleanup, the third baseman. He walked earlier in first base, as that first pitch is a strike. So there's 2 outs in the inning for the Haymakers. Pickoff attempt there to first. That if the defense for both teams has cleaned up since the top of the 2nd, as there's been a total of 2 runs for either team. That ball's fouled. But yeah, we've seen the defense start to clean up, and that was the downfall really of both teams. They were letting routine plays or wild pitches just lead into extra runs that didn't necessarily need to happen at all. So that's why we've got ourselves an 8-5 game so far, and there's another pickoff attempt to first there.
Yeah, and that's what's killed both teams a lot today, like you said. Both teams need to, and they look like they are, finding themselves back in, not pressing as hard.
So the count is now 1-2 with 2 outs. That ball's swung out, and that'll be a K for Jeff Miller. So the teams will return to their respective dugouts. The Haymakers will have their first inning without a run scored. And please stay tuned here at the Corn Belt League Network for more baseball soon. And thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. I am Jackson Ingvoldstad here with Sam Whittaker on the call. So after being held off with no runs in the bottom of the third, the Filthballers make the Haymakers score no runs in their top of the fourth inning. That ball is struck into left field, and the squeeze is put on it for a quick fly out.
Yeah, Dane Gardner right there made a good contact on that ball. Good shot over there to left. Not deep enough, though, and not quick enough to fall for anything, but a good chance right here, and Hillis getting on.
It's Brendan Hillis, the shortstop, will now take the batter's box for the Filthballers. He swings at that one, and it'll be foul. So the count is 0-1 with one out. Bottom of the fourth inning here. Doesn't swing at that one, and it'll be a ball, so the count is evened out to 1-1 here. High-scoring game, clearly, with the Haymakers taking an 8-5 lead to the Filthballers in the bottom of the fourth inning here already. And that ball is struck well into center field, where it's hauled in for another quick fly out. Baseball's starting to go more smoothly here and quickly, given that our first inning of baseball took about 34 minutes. So with two flyouts in the bottom of the fourth here, we're on a quick pace that we hadn't been on earlier. So the count is now 1-0. Bottom of the fourth. The count is now 2-0 with two outs. Easton Barnes, who is still pitching for the Haymakers. That ball goes straight up, and it is hauled in behind the plate there. Ryan Goulden, the catcher for the Haymakers, gets another out as baseball is going cleanly and quickly here as it wasn't earlier. So we will take a quick break here at the Corn Belt League Network. Don't go anywhere. thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. I'm Jackson Ingvoldstad, here with Sam Whittaker on the call. We will now see the Haymakers take the at-bat here in the top of the 5th inning here. Batting first for the Haymakers is Ben Kirkland. That ball struck into center right field, and it is hauled in for a quick fly out on the first pitch.
We're seeing a lot of quicker baseball moves here now, and I mean, we just went through the past inning and a half without any runs, which has come as a shock in this game. Finally getting that quick, speedy baseball action that we should have gotten in the start.
So now with 1 out to give, that pitch is a strike. Pitching now for the Filthballers as of last inning is Jeff Miller. He hadn't given up any runs, and that ball is grounded to second base. Throws it to first, and he will be tagged out on first. Another quick ground out as this game's pace is starting to shift rapidly.
Now batting, the designated hitter from the University of Sioux Falls, number 2, Dane Small.
Dane Small is now batting for the Haymakers. That first pitch is a strike.
Attention, please. Now in right field, number 48, Matthew Rivers.
It's 0-1 count. And that ball's fouled back.
Your attention, please.
Almost had it stuck in the fence.
Could have wrapped up everything we have seen today.
You just need that and maybe a home run, which this Haymakers team leads the league in with 3.
And that pitch is high. So the count is 1-2 with 2 outs for the Filthballers. Filthballers moving quickly on defense. Gave up no runs in the last inning and 1 in the third, with 7 runs given up in the first 2 innings. That pitch is outside for a ball, so the count will now be full with 2 outs. And that ball is swung on and struck to right field, split in between first and second. So that'll be a base hit single for Dane Small, the DH.
I'm pretty confident that's the first hit that we've seen since that scoreless bottom of the third.
Yeah, haven't seen a lot of action, just some quick defensive routine plays. And that ball is swung on and flies into right field, and it is hauled in, and that wraps up the top of the 5th inning here. No runs scored by the Haymakers, and the Filthballers will hope to end their scoreless 2-inning streak. Please stay tuned here to the Corn Belt League Network. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. Here is Alex Deachin on third base doing the dirty work, camera work, and he is shooting a shot of Taylor Lewis, who is on second, also doing the dirty work, and then we've also got Colton Alder on first there too. We're very thankful for our crew who does great work on filming these Corn Belt League games so that they can be watched by you guys, the viewers at home, if you're not able to make it out here to J.J. Isaacson Field or to Iowa Western, which is the other field that Corn Belt League Baseball is filmed. That ball is hit high and is hauled in by Goulden, the catcher there, for a quick fly out. We've been seeing a lot of first pitches that are turned directly into outs, whether it's a fly out or a ground out here, which is much different than we were seeing in the first two innings, where in the first two innings, a total of 12 runs were scored by both teams, which is not very common in the game of baseball.
That's ridiculous.
And that ball swung on by Matt Rivers, the first baseman for the Filthballers. And that ball will hit Rivers, shrugs that one off as he takes a free walk to first base there.
Now batting, the first baseman from Allen County Community
You might
College,
see some
number
more
34,
action now on the base paths.
So now batting is Anthony Nino, who was playing left field but is now playing third base after an injury led to some adjustments in the outfield and the infield.
Yeah, had a whole lot of changes for this Filthballers team today.
We've had pitching changes on both teams. Pitching still is Easton Barnes. And that ball is lined into right field. Thrown to first. He will be called safe on the double play attempt, but that'll still be a fly out for the Haymakers here.
Now batting,
Yeah, that one was screaming off the bat. Good power right there by Nino, but ultimately not to be. Out in right with Hayden Crawford.
So Easton Barnes still pitching after Swelich was taken out in the first inning. And that ball is hit past third and into left field for a base hit single. So there'll now be runners on first and second.
Well, right there, got one man in scoring position, got another man on first, and a good chance right now here by the Filthballers. They got the tying run at the plate right now in Corey Bantam.
That ball swung on deep into center field, and it is hauled in to wrap up the fifth inning of baseball here at J.J. Isaacson Field. So the Haymakers hold on to their 8-5 lead to the Filthballers. We will take a quick break. Don't go anywhere for this game of Tuesday Night Baseball. thank you for tuning back in to the Corn Belt League Network here. We see Jeff Miller take the mound once more after being subbed in for Cody Bruce. The pitch is up for a strike. We'll change up there, so it's an 0-1 count.
We're starting to see that cloud cover kind of disappear above J.J. Isaacson.
The sun's definitely starting to come out here, as it was not earlier. That ball's struck foul. We had a very cloudy and humid day that we thought we were going to have. I mean, we were having, but it's now, the sun's now come out. And the players in the infield and especially the outfield will have to adjust to that there. And that ball is grounded. It's fair as it rolls over the third base. Filthballers thought that one was going to go foul, but it will be a base hit for the Haymakers.
Yeah, and it's that's something you have to be aware of. You have to pick it up anyway and still make the throw over if they don't make the signal right away.
That ball is struck and fouled into the Haymaker bullpen. Braden Schmeckpeppers, who makes the single hit there. And Blake Peabody will now take the batter's box. That ball is down and out for a ball, so the count evens out to 1-1.
Want to go back to that weather. It's now 83. Started out earlier feeling like 90. It does feel like 90, it says, but that humidity starting to go away.
And the runner goes, but that ball's hit foul. So Schmeckpepper will retreat. Always love when Schmeckpepper is playing because it's just so fun to say. It's fun to read. It's fun to say. It's fun to look at. It's just a great name. I cannot express enough how much I love the name Schmeckpepper.
Shout out the Schmeckpepper family.
Yes. However that name came to be, good job. And Peabody grounds that one. It'll be thrown to second. Schmeckpepper will be out, but Peabody will be safe on first.
Now in right field, number 9, Cooper McCoy. Top of the order, the left fielder from Midland University, number 22, Mitchell Clay.
So Mitchell Clay will go to the top of the lineup. Mitchell Clay will take the right batter's box. The southpaw, who leads off for the Haymakers. Jeff Miller has a pickoff attempt to first after taking a long time to set up there on the mound. Now, with these last 2 innings of baseball, we're not sure if the pace is going to go quick or slow. We saw some very slow, high-scoring baseball, as we've said many times early today, with lots of errors, which is mostly why there is an 8-5 score in front of you. And then we've had some fairly quick baseball, a lot of quick groundouts and flyouts in these past 2 innings, which both teams have remained scoreless in. The count is 2-1 with 1 out for the Haymakers. That ball is hit low and foul. For for the Haymakers. So the count evens up 2-2 in the top of the 6th here. And that pitch will be a ball, so the count is now full. So we've got Peabody on first. Clay in the batter's box. Jeff Miller is still pitching for the Filthballers. That ball swung on, and we have a run. The runner goes to second. Second baseman, or sorry, the shortstop comes off of the bag there, so he will be safe on second. So Peabody will reside there as the shortstop, Isaac Sherrill, will now be batting.
And I do want to bring up, we do have some changes. The catcher now is Anthony Nino. Out at first, Matthew Rivers is back there after playing in right field, and back in right field is Cooper McCoy.
So that ball is struck into left center, and it is hauled in for the Filthballers. So that will wrap up the top of the 6th inning and will bring us to the middle of the 6th inning. Another scoreless half inning after having 5 in a row. That makes it 6 in a row. So we'll see what the Filthballers will do here next. Don't go anywhere here at the Corn Belt League Network. And thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. Mitchell Clay is now on the mound for the Haymakers. He was previously playing in left, but is now moved to pitching. And he'll throw 2 strikes there.
And Dane Small is in left to replace him as Easton Barnesday is done on the mound.
So batting for the Filthballers is Martin, who's playing in left field today after he was put in. That's a high ball. So the count evens out to 2-2. So we'll watch that pitch go by him, and the count is now full. So on a full count, Martin swings, and it'll be foul. So we'll do it again. Once more.
Came back in play, though. So no bubble gum there.
No bubble gum for anybody.
Our PA guy, Connor Shelton, loves announcing that you get free bubble gum here. If it gets hot enough, you get Freezy Pops.
Who doesn't love a good Freezy Pop? Those are better than a popsicle, in my humble opinion, because then you got the juice after to look forward to once you finish it. And if you disagree with me, you are incorrect. That is the best kind of popsicle.
We got a lot of good popsicles, and I mean, if we're on the subject, I was talking about this the other day, but the Blue Dogs, they seem to be the ice cream team this year. Anytime the ice cream truck shows up outside the field, multiple times have they gone out right before their games and gotten ice cream.
I cannot blame them. I think I would do the same if I were on the Royal Blue Dogs or not, because the ice cream truck does swing by Seymour Smith Park quite often. You know, we've got a water park on our south here at Seymour Smith that, you know, a lot of kids hang out. So it's a good hot spot if you're an ice cream truck. You know, you're getting good revenue there if you're an ice cream truck worker coming by Seymour Smith here.
I think they just know the Blue Dogs. I think they're just going to start working with the Blue Dogs schedule.
Yeah, maybe get a quick sponsorship for their team there. I'll swing at that one. It'll be foul, so count is still even at 2-2 with 0 outs and a runner on first. And that is thrown to first, and it goes high over. Martin could have possibly ran to second, but he doesn't want to take any chances, so he will still reside at first. Patterson is struck out, and the DH from Concordia, Dane Garner, will now be in the batter's box for the Filthballers.
That last play, a little reminiscent to what we've seen before. The throw down the line, we see it there, bounces off the catcher in Golden.
He coughs that ball up, but no movement in the runners, a.k.a. Martin on first. So Mitchell Clay still pitching for the Haymakers. Throws a very inside ball there. This is the third pitcher so far for the Haymakers. They had Swelich earlier, who was quickly taken out. The submarine pitcher was quickly taken out for Easton Barnes, and a great play on third is thrown to first, and it'll be called a double play. Amazing athletic ability there on third. Great work there, and that wraps up the top of the 6th inning for the Filthballers. No runs still. Their streak continues of no runs, and the Haymakers now will take the batter's box. Please stay tuned to the Corn Belt League Network. thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. Now pitching for the Filthballers is Anthony Nino. This is his 4th position of the game. He started off in left field, and then after Tristan Brandt's injury, he was shifted to third base. Last inning, he was working behind the plate, catching, while Cooper McCoy was shifted to third, and now he is pitching in the last inning for the Filthballers. So really a real good role utility player you got right there.
He's done it all today. I mean, I think he's been in the outfield, he's been in the infield, he's been behind the plate, he's been thrown to the plate. This is crossing it off.
Really doing it all is Nino. So that first pitch is a ball. And batting for the Filthballers right now is number 16, David Swanson.
And Dayton Gardner is in right, as we've been told. And Cooper McCoy is back behind the plate for the Filthballers.
And that ball is fouled for Swanson.
Right field, number 23, Dane Garner. Catching, number 9, Cooper McCoy.
So on a 2-2 count, he strikes that ball very well deep into left field, where it will be hauled in. 16-16 play there. Number 16, David Swanson, is caught on a fly out by number 16, Jacob Martin.
Yeah, and that was the power that we saw from Swanson back on Sunday. Almost did it again right there with the left light tower. Not to be, though. And we're having a quick pitching change out of nowhere. It's Lyndon Brugman.
A little uncanny decision there by the Filthballers. We're going to take a quick break here as Brugman's going to warm up here, but don't go anywhere here at the Corn Belt League Network. Thank you for tuning back in here to the Corn Belt League Network. So pitching for the Filthballers once again is Lyndon Brugman. A quick, very quick substitution there. I can't say I even saw the previous pitcher Nino coming out of that, but coach's decision is coaching decision. He was in the bullpen earlier, but now in the bullpen for the Haymakers for the next inning will be Logan Anderson.
Get your stats on him if he does come into the game. We believe he should to close it out.
It is a 1-1 count with 1 out on the top of the 7th inning here. Last inning of baseball. That pitch is high for a ball. So the count is now 2-2 with 1 out. Warming up by the Haymakers dugout is the Red Raiders, who are throwing around a football. And they'll face off the Filthballers again right after this for a 7 o'clock matchup.
Yeah, the Filthballers having 2 back-to-backs today. They really needed the win in this one. Not saying it isn't going to happen now, but it's looking very unlikely.
And like the Filthballers, the Bombers are also having a doubleheader instead tonight, but instead at Iowa Western.
As they did win that, they lost that game, to the Black Sox 6-5.
The second baseman from Midland University, number 12.
And important for the Black Sox there, who haven't had the season that they wanted. That is their 10th win of the season, compared to the 1-seed Royal Blue Dogs, who have 17. That pitch is low and inside for a ball.
Got a lot of playoff coverage coming up. Don't miss any of that.
Yep, today's the last regular season day of baseball, so spots in the playoffs will be locked in after all the games are wrapped up tonight.
Blue Dogs and Cropdusters both clinched the 1 and 2 respectively. I'm really shocked by that Cropdusters team. They started the season early, low in the standings, but like Garrett White said Sunday in the interview, they started hitting, and it's really what's gotten them to this point.
And it's no surprise that the Royal Blue Dogs have stayed so high. They've just been electric offensively and defensively, so they've been sitting pretty comfortably on the 1 seed the whole season.
Couldn't clinch it that one night if we all remember correctly, but did get it done the other night.
And that will be a walk for Ben Kirkland, the second baseman.
Now batting, the right fielder.
So the Filthballers have 2 outs, but a man on first, as Hayden Crawford takes the at-bat now. Pickoff attempt to first there, but no tag necessary as Kirkland retreats quickly.
Well, they won. Hold on a second. We'll have to check.
Crawford hits low in the shaft there,
I'll check between games.
but it'll be, he will move up to first, and Kirkland will go to second. Took a swing at that.
Gonna assume it hit him. It's the only way I would know.
Number 2, Dane Small.
I have a correction on that. It was actually catcher's interference. That's why Crawford is aboard.
It's an odd play there. Wasn't really sure what happened because I thought it would hit him, but he did take a swing at that. But yep, catcher's interference. That would add up there. So he'll take a walk there, and then Kirkland will shift over to second. And the runner will go from second to third. So now runners will sit at the corners. So the Haymakers are hoping to possibly up their lead of 3, so that it makes it all the more difficult for the Filthballers to come back from this game. That ball is grounded to third, and then it will be a out. Could have been 4 outs if they needed to, but that will tag out the runner on second. So the Haymakers will keep their lead 8-5 as the Filthballers make their final attempt in the bottom of the 7th inning. Don't go anywhere. thank you for tuning back in here to the final half inning of Corn Belt League Baseball in this Haymakers Filthballers matchup.
And we do have a new arm on the mound, like we mentioned previously. Logan Anderson, University of Sioux Falls, comes into the game. 32 2/3 innings. Got himself 32 strikeouts and 21 walks to boot him. But that ERA at a 4.29 looks to close out the Filthballers.
So the Filthballers here will make their last effort to beat the Haymakers. They scored 5 runs in the first 2 innings, but have not scored since. The Haymakers did, however, score 8 in that time. They scored 8 in 3 innings, and they haven't scored in any innings since. So the question is, will the Filthballers be able to come back after their error-filled early game of baseball?
Yeah, this game had all its runs so far in the top half for the Haymakers, and the bottom half only in the first 2 innings did the Filthballers score. So no runs since.
Yeah, baseball is significantly cleaned up today after such a sloppy start for both teams, giving up a total of 13 runs in the first 5 half innings of baseball. So now taking the batter's box for the Filthballers is number 2, Brandon Hillis, who is the shortstop for the Filthballers.
Haymakers just want to get out of this game with a win. Helps them boost their standings as they would only be 1 game behind or ahead of the Black Sox.
And the Black Sox just came off of a win at Iowa Western to the Bombers. So the Haymakers want to try to get a lead on the Black Sox there, and the Filthballers are sitting 1 spot above the Haymakers in the 6th seed as of our current 2023 CBL standings.
And I'm pretty confident that the Black Sox are locked into that 8th position. Every team makes the tournament here, so no matter how high or low you finish in the standings, you all make it. It's just a single elimination tournament starting Thursday. We have coverage of all the games.
Yep, it'll be a pretty busy week or so for the Corn Belt League Network here in broadcasting these games for you. We will be streaming all of those games on YouTube. And the crew here will be giving it our all. That ball is struck in a center field, and it's hauled in for the easy fly out to start off this inning. Yeah, but we'll be giving you our all. We'll have all hands on deck for some full broadcasts because we understand, you viewers, you really want to see the playoffs. It's what the season all comes down to. It doesn't matter how good your record is. If you get wiped out early, that's how electric the playoffs can possibly be.
Do you have a sleeper pick on who you think could go all the way?
I'm a personal Black Sox fan. I'm not sure if they'll be able to beat the Royal Blue Dogs, but I'm definitely hopeful. But I definitely think they have some good players. They've got Jackson Yeager, like a consistent hitter.
Dylan Novotny.
Yep, exactly. So I definitely think they have the talent that it could take to face off the Royal Blue Dogs. But we'll see because anything can really happen. And I also really like the Cropdusters. That's not the 2nd seed, so it's not a underdog pick. How about yourself?
I don't know if I can pick. Obviously, my non-sleeper pick is the Cropdusters. Got to go with the family relation there, but
okay.
Sleeper pick.
Your cousin, right?
Yep, my cousin. Sleeper pick, I might have to go with the Bombers. It's a Wayne State loaded lineup. They do have power. One of the standout players like Nick Ripa. They got a really good batting average of that team. They're all around a really solid team, but we're seeing everyone's going to play their best when we hit the playoffs Thursday.
Right, I have seen the Bombers play some great baseball, I will say, in my time here at the Corn Belt League Network, so I don't think that's a very bad pick either.
Now batting.
So he'll be struck out there, the Filthballers. Peyton Larson now takes the at-bat after Burnett is struck out. So one more out left to seal up this game of baseball here. Checks his swing there, but it'll still be a strike. So the count is 0-1 with 2 outs left. Peyton Larson in the batter's box. Takes another swing at that one, and that'll be a strike as well. So the count's now 0-2. Logan Anderson hopes to wrap up this game of Tuesday night baseball here at J.J. Isaacson Field. That pitch will be a ball, so the count goes up to 1-2.
This is really our Larson has to protect here. If he doesn't want that next one to go straight past him, really needs to look up and down in the zone you want. And you think that he might put you away with something high or low.
The pitch is a ball, and the count evens out to 2-2 with 2 outs here on the bottom of the 7th here.
Just like that, the break didn't have too much break on it, but it looked like a pretty good fastball.
And the pitch from Anderson is another ball, so the count is now full. Larson doing a good job here of making sure that these balls that Anderson has given him aren't strikes that he's having the game end up in. That ball is hit well into right field for a base hit single, exactly what Larson wanted to do right there.
Yeah, and that's the clutch in Peyton Larson. A good job right there, just to shorten the swing a little bit. A little bit late on it, but that never is too bad. Gets the opposite field knock, and it brings up a guy with a lot of power in Matthew Rivers.
So Larson takes the stress off of his shoulder and instead puts it right onto Matt Rivers here. Down 3-1, down 3 runs. You are very nervous here because you really got to piece it all together. That ball flies up, and it is hauled in by Anderson, closing up this game. The Haymakers take a 8-5 lead to the Filthballers here after a starting off slow game into a very fast-moving game. No runs being scored in the top of the 3rd inning. We will take a break here at the Corn Belt League Network. Thank you very much for tuning in.